Beehive, listen up. Some of Beyoncé's unreleased music was just stolen in Atlanta. CBS News correspondent Michael George is here with me in studio to explain. This is shocking. Michael, what do we know?
Yeah, Errol, this is a big deal if you're a Beyoncé fan. This happened last week before the Atlanta leg of Queen Bee's Cowboy Carter Tour. Now, police say Beyoncé's choreographer and one of her dancers parked a rental car in a parking garage last Tuesday. About an hour later, when they returned, they found the trunk window damaged and 2 suitcases were missing. I want to play some of the 911 call for.
She is one of the most iconic, innovative, and private artists of our generation. She controls her art with incredible precision, from the way it's created to how and when it's released. So imagine this. One day, entire hard drives of her unreleased music, secret tour plans, and sensitive production files are stolen out of the back of a car. That's not a rumor. That's not a fan theory. That's exactly what happened during her Cowboy Carter Tour stop in Atlanta on July 8, 2025. Let's start from the beginning.
Really important information in there. Like, I work with someone who's like of a high status, and I really need the my computer and everything.
Now, the police report says the thief got away with hard drives containing unreleased music, video, and plans for the show, and past and future set lists. Officers tracked the stolen laptop and AirPods the day of the theft, and they started a search. Now, police say they have a warrant for a suspect, but they haven't identified that person yet. Here's CBS News law enforcement contributor Rodney Harrison on the next steps in this case.
He or she is in any type of database and see his possible whereabouts, last known address, and any other people that he or she may be affiliated with.
Now, here's the thing. It's not clear, Errol, if the thief knew that this was a crew car for Beyoncé or not.
Right.
We're waiting to see. This could have been just random. We don't know yet.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because the Beyoncé team is known for keeping all of the music and information under lock and key, and everyone is wondering about what Act 3 will be about.
Yeah, this is so big because this could be worth a lot of money, potentially. Yeah. CBS News spoke with Tomas Mier, a staff writer for Rolling Stone, about this. Take a listen.
Did these people even know that that music was on there? Are there passwords on that hard drive? Those are a lot of questions that we just don't know the answers to. If you're Beyoncé, you're hoping that these people don't know what's on there and don't know how to access it completely. And also, you're preparing for the worst. What if it is leaked? I think it's just going to cause Beyoncé to just have everything locked and loaded in case it is released or somebody does leak this footage or music, that she has that ready for her own releases at the time that she's ready to release them.
Choreographer Christopher Grant and dancer Deandre Blue, too, trusted members of Beyoncé's inner creative circle, parked their rented SUV at the Krog Street Market garage in Atlanta. Like anyone on tour, they likely had gear with them: music files, rehearsal items, personal belongings. But in this case, they were also transporting something far more valuable: hard drives loaded with unreleased Beyoncé tracks, set lists, tour footage plans, even backstage production documents. After spending about an hour inside the market, they returned to find the SUV's rear window smashed and 2 suitcases missing. It wasn't until police arrived that the true gravity of the theft came to light. The missing bags contain music that the world has never heard, potentially part of Beyoncé's next phase in the Renaissance trilogy, or even material that's been in the vault for years. The files were watermarked, meaning they could be traced. But that doesn't undo the fact that someone, somewhere, is now in possession of something worth potentially millions. To understand the weight of this, we need to look at Beyoncé's history. This is an artist who revolutionized album releases when she surprise dropped her self-titled visual album in 2013, completely unannounced. It changed the music industry. Since then, she's been obsessed with security and control. Her team works in private studios. Phones are often banned. Even dancers sign NDAs before seeing footage or hearing tracks. So for something like this to happen, for unreleased music to be stolen in such an avoidable way, it's devastating. The Atlanta Police Department took the case seriously. Officers immediately used Apple's tracking tools to trace a stolen PN. So a stolen laptop and AirPods. Fingerprints were lifted from the vehicle. CCTV footage from the parking garage was reviewed, and a suspect has been identified. An arrest warrant was issued, though the suspect remains at large, and their name has not been publicly released. As the investigation continues, one critical question remains. Was this targeted or random? Did someone know that Beyoncé's team was traveling with sensitive material? Or was this just another Atlanta car break-in? One that just happened to hit two of the most important people on her creative team. Here's where things get even more complicated. Some fans have questioned why unreleased music would ever be kept in a parked vehicle. But professional choreographers like Grant are often responsible for developing movement and choreography. For new material, especially if it's being tested for live shows, having access to audio files on the road isn't unusual. What is unusual is leaving them in a car, especially in a city like Atlanta, where break-ins are unfortunately common. It's a mistake, but a very human one. This brings up another element: tour security. Sources close to the tour say that security protocols are now being tightened, especially when it comes to transporting sensitive material. Hard drives and laptops may now be stored in locked flight cases or even tracked in real time with extra security devices. In fact, some insiders suggest that Beyoncé may now be restructuring how she shares music internally, keeping unreleased material off mobile devices and restricting who can access it on the road. But despite the chaos behind the scenes, Beyoncé didn't cancel or postpone anything. On July 10th, she went ahead with her show at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And from the outside, it looked like business as usual. Then, just a few nights later, on July 13th, she delivered a surprise moment that lit up social media. During the performance of Crazy in Love, her husband Jay-Z walked on stage to perform his part of the duet. They smiled, embraced, and kissed, sending fans into an emotional spiral. Whether intentional or not, the timing of that moment felt powerful. Beyoncé was still in control, still performing, still focused. Meanwhile, her team has remained silent. No statements, no interviews, no Instagram posts acknowledging the incident. And that silence is telling. It suggests that Beyoncé is handling things internally with lawyers, with management, and with full awareness of how dangerous this breach could become. This isn't just a missing hard drive. This is potentially years of unreleased creative work now out of her hands. Let's talk about the industry consequences. If this music leaks, it could disrupt entire album rollout plans, licensing agreements, or visual film projects Beyoncé has in the works. As Rolling Stone contributor Thomas Meyer told CBS News, she's probably already preparing alternate release strategies just in case. If the songs leak, she might choose to officially drop them herself, controlling the narrative, rather than letting pirates shape it. This kind of preemptive release has become a common tactic for artists under threat, but it only works if they act fast. There's also the legal angle. Stealing unreleased music isn't just theft. It can fall under federal copyright law, especially if the content is shared, sold, or monetized online. If the suspect uploads even one clip to YouTube or sells a copy to a collector, they could face serious charges. Federal agencies may even get involved if the intellectual property is valued high enough. That means this case could grow far beyond local Atlanta authorities. And what about the emotional toll? Beyoncé is a mother, a businesswoman, a perfectionist. Her work is carefully crafted, and fans know she only shares what she feels is ready. To have that control taken away, not by critics or competition, but by a petty thief, is heartbreaking. She's worked for decades to shape her legacy only for someone to carelessly snatch part of it in an Atlanta parking garage. Meanwhile, social media is on fire. The Bayhive is furious. On TikTok, creators are dissecting every detail of the police report. On Instagram, fans are flooding Beyoncé's recent posts with emojis and messages of support. On Twitter X, some are begging the thief to do the right thing and return the drives anonymously. Others are scared that we may never get to hear those songs at all. One fan wrote, "This isn't just music. This is a piece of her heart. If you release it, you're robbing the art of its timing." And then, of course, there are the conspiracy theories. Some fans believe this was an inside job. Others think the thief knew exactly whose car they were targeting. A few wild theories even suggest this was a leak test staged by Beyoncé herself, though those ideas have no evidence to support them. What is clear, though, is that the situation is real, confirmed by Atlanta police, CBS, TMZ, E! News, and other major outlets. So where does this all go next? The suspect will likely be caught. Surveillance footage, fingerprints, and device tracking leave little room to hide. But what happens if the drives have already been copied? What if the music is already in the hands of black market collectors or music leakers? That's the biggest fear. Because if that happens, the situation shifts from damage control to full-blown crisis. But if there's one thing we know about Beyoncé, it's that she never backs down. She's been through industry sabotage, media scrutiny, and personal pain, and each time she's emerged stronger. Theft won't define her. But it may change the way she moves and how her future work is created and protected.